I'm a big film noir fan, so shooting at night has always been a favorite of mine. Of course, that presents problems when shooting the video on a GoPro. You'll notice a bit of noise in the video. But actually, it did better than I anticipated. All right. I've been wanting to shoot this oil rig that's out here at night. I've brought the 500 millimeters. Basically, it's a 250 millimeter and then a 2x converter. This is an old vintage Hasselblad. And so we're going to put that onto a newer Hasselblad camera. By new, it's still 15 years old. All right, and here we go. Really, the Hasselblad H4D-60 shipped in 2010, just about 14 years ago. The tripod I'm using is a bit small for this camera. So, I've set the camera for a 2-second time delay. Besides the camera and lens, I'm taking a remote shutter release cable and a light meter. The thing about this whole exercise is you cannot be in a rush. There is just no way you can do this and think you're going to get done anytime quick. The other thing is make sure you have your phone and a little light. This lens needs to be set manually because the shutter is actually in the lens. If you're not familiar with Hasselblad lenses, they are actually a unique design. Once you set the correct exposure, you can move to different exposure times without having to reset the aperture. The lens will automatically adjust and correct the setting. Okay. And we'll see what happens. In a future video, I'll show you how these lenses work. I took about 10 different shots with different exposures and a few verticals. The results are nothing special. The moon was near full and lighting looked great when I drove up. But for whatever reason, the reflective light didn't touch the ground. I was hoping the moon would provide a little ambient light, but it was pretty much pitch black. But I may be back to try again. Well. My thoughts were to shoot the pier with the snowflake lights. I heard they were installed last week. Apparently installed doesn't mean turned on. So we cocked the lens, because on this one we have to do it manually. Let's get this a little straighter. Alright, here we go. Not what I planned, but okay. And when we turn around, we have this. Should be able to find a picture. Okay, across the street, they have the closeout in front of the store. People are walking past. It's nicely lit. I think we should be able to get something here. I'm going to take a quick scouting walkabout. Cue the street musician in 3, 2, 1. After walking a few blocks and not finding anything, I am feeling this original idea is really the only shot for tonight. There's probably more, but I'm just not seeing them today. So I've walked up and down, and really this is about the brightest area right here. So we're going to set up and just wait for the right people to come by. Hopefully we'll get something. So I'm still a little wide with this. I thought I would be okay, but I'm going to move to 100 millimeter. And that's about 60 in 35 millimeter terms. So let's get out the teleconverter and put that on this 50, and we'll see if that works a little better. As I fooled around changing lenses, I missed the shot of the smoking man. Yeah, that would have been good. When you use vintage equipment, you can't be in a hurry. Sometimes you may need to fix a few things while you're standing on the street. What I love about these vintage lenses is that they aren't perfect. They can be temperamental, maybe have a few flaws, but for me, that's what makes the photographs interesting. Here's a bad GoPro screenshot of the picture I didn't get, but was in my head. A solo subject moving across the windows. After waiting around 10 minutes, I finally got a solo subject. Unfortunately, the 2-second timer means I didn't know exactly where the person would be when the shutter went off. Of course, the person wearing a dark shirt lived right in the middle of the dark shirts in the window. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as I had thought. I figured there'd be a little more lights and ideally a little more Christmas lights up. But overall, I think we may have gotten a shot or two. So we'll get home and take a look. Well, that's it for this video. No great photos, but that's really not that important to me. Had a great time walking around the area. I've never been down here before at night.